Namaste, Jai Bharat. We all heard right from school days about the five gross elements. What are these five gross elements? Of course. Then we hear they are earth, sky, water, etc. And wind and all those things. Five gross elements. But what is this five gross elements? If you've ever tried to know, you don't get a satisfying explanation from this kind of corners, this kind of sources, which speaks as five gross elements. It has a difficulty because it has a problem behind it. There's a misconception, misunderstanding. Not really misconception and not really misunderstanding, some kind of wrong understanding of the thing we discussed in the beginning. About ancient European philosophy, we all know that the European philosophy, European philosophy really begins with the Greek thinking pattern, the Greek knowledge tradition, where we have these three thinkers, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, who become real stalwarts, and with, of course, Aristotle things end for a long 2000 years subsequently. So, Socrates. So, we understand Socrates as the first thinker, but then we also know about the Milesians. Though they did not create systems of philosophy, we also know about Milesians like Thales. We call him as Thales of Greece, Anaximander, Anaxagoras, many such people. They're Milesians. Milesia, of course, is a part of Greek. So, generally, people accept Thales as the first thinker in pre-Socratic philosophical system that we call. And Thales of Greece is the one who gave the theory of five gross elements. Now, how did he gather the concept of five gross elements? Otherwise, Thales of Greece says that life really began from water, such things. But then suddenly he speaks of five gross elements. It's interesting to find that Thales acquires the understanding of five gross elements from the Punjabi merchants. Punjabi merchants who were traveling, Punjabi merchants from Bharat. So the Punjabi merchants discussed, these people, they do discuss also, discussed about the pancabhutas in Bharatiya knowledge tradition. Panchabhutas are, we know, Prithvi, Agni, Vayu, and etc., Jala, all those things. So the Panchabhutas, Thales of Greece learns from Punjabi merchants, but he understands the Panchabhutas as five gross elements. Now, this is an understanding mistake. He grasps things like that. Later when he wrote like that. Or when he spoke like that. But what are these five principles? Panchabhutas are actually there are five principles of life. Five principles. We call them as Panchatattvas, five principles, or five Shaktis, or five powers, or five kinds of authorities. It is simple. Five principles, or five authorities, or five established authorities, which controls everything. So that is what Panchabhutas are supposed to be peripherically meant, peripherically understood. I'm only talking about peripherically understanding. Which Thales of Greece? In those days, Thales of Greece was working in Egypt as a mercenary. That's what we read. Thales of Greece was working in Egypt as a mercenary, where he comes across the Punjabi merchants, and there he understands about these five principles, five Panchabhutas, Panchatattvas, he understands. But then he understands them as five gross elements. He speaks about them as five gross elements, and he teaches these things to his contemporary but student, Anaximander, as five gross elements. And there begins the discussions of five gross elements, and there begins the narration of five gross elements in the Greek knowledge tradition, which of course the Europeans pick up everything from Greeks, everything from Greek knowledge tradition. Otherwise, they don't have any fundamental edifices or foundations of knowing. They picked up from Greek knowledge tradition. They also started speaking of five gross elements, and no one has really investigated into the real concept of five gross elements by unpacking the concept of five gross elements. This is interesting. It's a small mistake. It's a small mistake. Like the mistake of parthenogenesis. Maybe I'll speak about it later sometime. So this mistakes gets repeated. We keep getting taught about five gross elements, and everyone takes it as five gross elements. Everyone repeats five gross elements, and that's it. It goes on. So we'll meet again with some other thought, and after some other time. Till then, Namaste, Jai Bharat, Jai Shri Ram.